The Breakfast Club is losing viewership because we're no longer on YouTube.
Some viewers may find this disturbing. Viewer discretion is advised.
Hi, my loves. It's Destin.Choice, and you're watching Choice TV. So for today's video, I wanted to get on here, and I wanted to discuss a lot of the stuff that's been going on in the industry right now. The fact that a lot of people in the industry are suffering, and the crazy controversy going on with the Breakfast Club, because a lot of people are very upset with them right now. And I wanted to come out here and give you guys the scoop and tell you guys, ain't no fucking money on here, bitch. That's what's pretty much been going on. Now, don't get me wrong. There is a lot of money to be made on social media and YouTube, and a lot of content creators still do pretty well. But a lot of content creators and influencers and people who leverage things like YouTube or Instagram and TikTok, they're not doing so well because they're trying to live luxury lifestyles and they don't realize that things eventually fluctuate. It's a lot of us who are on YouTube who come on here to literally escape the real world. And when you hear people who get on the internet complain about not making as much money, it's kind of like, and bitch, I don't give a fuck. And I honestly can't blame everybody for not giving a fuck. But the money is not mun-yunning anymore. So because the money is not mun-yunning anymore, a lot of people have to leave.
Netflix and iHeartMedia are coming together for an exclusive video podcast deal. Wendy Lee reports more than 15 original iHeartMedia podcasts, like The Breakfast Club, will be available on Netflix in a multi-year deal that kicks off in 2026. It's a strategy to diversify its content and compete with other podcast giants like YouTube.
A man once said, "I don't work for free." DDG. He literally said he don't work for free when the whole adpocalypse thing happened back in like 2017. As we all know, YouTube has made it very clear that they're not going to monetize certain things anymore. If you put certain things, like when people put in like, breasts and putting poom poom in the thumbnail, YouTube was allowing a lot of content like that, and then YouTube quickly cleaned all that stuff up. Same thing with family channels. At one point, family channels were eating on here, and now you barely see them because they're on a whole other side of the algorithm, and they don't even make as much money as they once did. Hence why many of these couple channels and family channels later disappeared. As we all know, the YouTube platform has been a big staple for a lot of people, and it's launched a lot of people's careers, and it's done a lot for a lot of people. Charlamagne the God is one of those people, and the rest of the Breakfast Club as well. If it wasn't for YouTube, we really wouldn't be giving a fuck or paying attention to Charlamagne the God and the entire Breakfast Club. Most of us helped build the Breakfast Club platform because they had a lot of crazy moments on their platform, such as rappers, politicians, motivational speakers, public speakers, authors, people running for Congress, multimedia superstars, people who from all walks of life have gone to the Breakfast Club to promote their brand and promote their platform. And a lot of people have helped the Breakfast Club grow their brand. But what really helped the Breakfast Club grow was back in 2009, the Little Mama interview. As we all know, back in 2009, when the Breakfast Club first started getting a lot of attention, Little Mama went on there, and that was one of their first viral videos that they had on that platform. And now, the Breakfast Club are solidified household names. As we all know, even with Angela Yee leaving the Breakfast Club, the platform is still pretty big and very powerful because they're still constantly going viral. Well, guess what? Last month, we found out that the Breakfast Club wasn't going to be putting their interviews on the platform anymore. Now, Charlamagne the God is going to be putting a lot of his interviews, and a lot of the cast of the Breakfast Club all mutually agreed that all the interviews need to go on Netflix. So iHeartRadio has been a really big partner for Charlamagne. They've been funding his project. They've been giving him endorsement deals. iHeartMedia signed a massive multi-billion-dollar deal with Netflix. And they basically made it clear that they want a lot of their podcasters who put their media on their platform to literally go to Netflix. It sounds good because they got a lot of money off of it. They signed a big deal, and this is a huge crossover. The problem is a lot of the fans are upset because now a lot of us are scrolling through Netflix and we're like, what the fuck? Why is the Breakfast Club on here? Netflix made it very clear that they're trying to come out with this new thing where they want to get a lot more people to stay on the platform long term. YouTube and TikTok has pretty much got that on lock, where they can get people to stay in and lock in for as long as possible. But Netflix doesn't really have that strength. No matter how long they've been around, they can only keep people on depending on how great a show is or how great a movie is. In many cases, many of us will watch a TV show or a movie on Netflix, and sometimes we'll let it play. But a lot of times, when we don't binge stuff on Netflix or we're trying to get into something and we don't like it, we click off immediately and we get off the entire app and we just keep it moving and we move to TikTok or Instagram or YouTube. Netflix wants to end that.
So staff members at Netflix recently posted this. They did an interview and they said, "We're testing a vertical video feed on mobile devices that starts to reimagine what mobile is and kind of meets consumers where they are now and how they using mobile today." They then followed up with saying, kind of like vertical videos to start to experiment with new content types. And that includes something we announced more recently, which is podcasts. People who work for the Netflix team made it very clear that they want to start competing with what TikTok has going on. TikTok is very good at keeping people on the app. That app puts everybody under this weird magical spell where no matter what, you think you're opening it for a few minutes, but then the next minute you're scrolling for like 2 hours straight. They invest billions of dollars into these TV shows that most of us don't even watch because they greenlight the dumbest shit on their platform. And then on top of that, they don't even let everybody put their shit on Netflix. Netflix has to approve shit manually. So Netflix is like, okay, let's reach out to content creators. And they've been reaching out to several content creators, and the Breakfast Club is one of those people that are getting on board with Netflix. And Charlamagne is not taking too kindly all the backlash he's getting because he feels as though that a lot of people aren't supporting him and aren't supporting the platform, even though they're trying to expand and multiply.
YouTube, I know y'all pissed off right now. Okay, another clip, but we're on Netflix, man. Stop acting like y'all don't have motherfucking Netflix. I'm sick of y'all acting like y'all don't have Netflix. It actually disgusts me. If it was any other paywall, I would completely understand. Netflix been around just as long as the Breakfast Club. It's on everybody's remote controls. It's in hotel rooms. You got Netflix. Talking about, we ain't paying for Breakfast Club. You paid for Diddy Doc. You paid for Stranger Things. You paid to watch Jake Paul and Anthony Joshua. You know why you paid? Because you've been paying for Netflix for the last 15 years. It's not like, Breakfast Club is on there now, so now we charging you more money to watch. Just go to the podcast section. Click on the podcast section, type in Breakfast Club, and everything will be right there. Donkey of the day, the full interview, whatever you're looking for, the full episode. Go do it, man. Okay? It's just change. That's all. Change is good.
Netflix wants to build more audience retention, and they're trying to get more people to focus on staying on the app. And due to that, the Breakfast Club and a lot of podcasters were offered multi-million-dollar deals. Now, there's been talks of them trying to get with Joe Rogan, but unfortunately that's not going to work because, as we all know, Joe Rogan has an over $200 million deal with Spotify, so that he's definitely not going anywhere, and he's also kept a lot of his shit on YouTube as well, in spite of having a deal with Spotify. And then they also have been trying to get other people on the platform, such as Pete Davidson. Pete Davidson has a podcast coming out, and it's going to be released on Netflix. And why does Netflix all of a sudden want podcasts? Because talk shows cost too much to produce. Everybody and their mom wants a talk show, and talk shows are very expensive.
Like, sometimes people will reach out to me and be like, oh my God, Troyce, I can't wait for you to get your own show. I don't want my own show. I don't want a show on network television. It's a lot of censorship. There's money to be made because a lot of these ads and these commercials y'all see after these commercial breaks, they pay very generously. But I don't want my own show because what's going to happen? I do the show, it gets canceled after 2 seasons or 3 seasons, and then what? Then I got to start from square one, and I got to neglect my YouTube channel, and I got to sign some slave contract that implies I got to put all my shit on there. Like, it sounds good at first glance, but unless it has to do with a new format and a new formula, I would never want to do whatever I'm doing on a different show or a different platform. So guess what? Podcasts are cheap. All you got to do is find some dude named Ray or Daquan renting out a fucking podcast studio, pay him about $100 an hour, and then boom. Before you know it, you're already on a fucking podcast. You got your own show, and you can get thousands, if not millions of people streaming your shit if you have the right guests and the right topic. So this is the little stuff that's happening, and this is why Netflix wants a piece of that pie. Because guess what? They're spending billions of dollars every single few months to produce a new plethora of shows and movies for y'all to watch, and a lot of y'all are not watching those. Some of y'all are bootlegging them for free, guilty, and a lot of y'all are going out of your way to literally watch reruns. There's a whole platform with millions of shows and millions of movies and TV shows, and we're watching reruns of Girlfriends, The Parkers, Moesha, we're watching Supernatural, we're watching Gossip Girl, we're watching One Tree Hill and Sex and the City. That's what the fuck we're watching. We don't give a fuck about a lot of these new shit with a lot of these damn fake wannabe fucking like actors who are literally straight off of a social media set. So yeah, Netflix is reaching out to a lot of YouTube creators, and I don't blame them. A lot of times YouTube has done their creators dirty. One of the biggest creators on YouTube, Mr. Beast, did a whole parody of a Netflix show called Squid Games. He posted it on YouTube and it got over 900 million views. Netflix then reached out to him and asked him to do an exclusive show for the platform. And guess what? He secured $1 billion deal. This is the kind of stuff that Netflix sees, and they think to themselves, we got to get creators on here. So I feel like one day Netflix is going to come out with a creative program, and this is all just a test.
And Jess Hilarious recently came on her Instagram, and she was venting about the fact that she understands, and she is completely in the right.
I ain't gonna lie, yo, since Breakfast Club been on Netflix, man, our engagement, our people all the fans that we built up over time, well, that they built up, I just got here. that they built up over time on YouTube, oh my God, they feel neglected because Netflix was like, nope, we want all of it. Y'all can't have no other social media presence. None. So now we got to find other content to do that can go on our other platforms.
That's like me getting on here and saying, hey y'all, so I'm gonna start posting on my Choice TV and Unpopular Opinions content on Bravo, on Fox, and I'm gonna start posting on a Comedy Central. So you guys have to go watch me on TV or go subscribe to the Comedy Central app. Like, y'all gonna look at me and be like, what the fuck, why? That's like me coming on here and saying I'm gonna literally start posting my shit on T-Nick. Most of y'all are gonna go fucking subscribe to T-Nick and go watch me on there. That's ridiculous. Most of us are on YouTube because a lot of us want to actually consume content, scroll through comments, see what other people are saying about content. Some of us want to like, engage. Some of us want to like comment in the premieres. That's the point of YouTube. It's about you. People want to connect with you. People want to discuss and connect with other people in the comment section. Sometimes people like the comment culture because the comment culture is what helped build things like TikTok. When people go on TikTok, people are constantly looking at the comments and seeing what other people are saying. The same thing goes for YouTube. A lot of us jump to the comment section and it helps us be more engaged with the interview. It creates discussions. Then sometimes some comments will have more comments and more likes than the actual video, and you get to engage from there. That's what makes it interesting. So a lot of times when we're on Netflix, I'm not thinking to sit back and watch a fucking interview and be like, oh yeah, I want to hear what, Dame Dash and Jay-Z and all these fucking people like, Jim Carrey had to say in this interview podcast. No, I want to be able to scroll through, read comments, see what people are saying while I'm watching it. And then on top of that, I want to be able to engage with people who are in the comment section. And then if I don't want to watch the shit anymore, I want to be able to exit out, come back later and add it to my watch later. That's why a lot of us are on YouTube for different purposes.
But what's disappointing is YouTube continues to do a lot of weird, shady shit. And again, this platform's done a lot for me, but let's be real. How many of y'all have subscribed to me and haven't gotten my notifications in the longest time? How many of y'all have not been able to see some of my videos unless you search me up? How many of y'all have seen my videos for years and then at one point didn't see it anymore until randomly you just stopped to look me up or randomly got recommended and forgot all about me? It's a lot of really weird stuff that YouTube does where they've reorganized this fucking algorithm to cater to no one. Like, no one even understands the YouTube algorithm anymore. And so many of my fucking videos have been age-restricted, demonetized, have been flagged. Some of my best work ever can't even make anything off of it, or it can't even be visibly seen anymore because YouTube deemed it as inappropriate. So I understand why they left. And here's what Charlamagne said that makes a very good point about why I kind of see why he left. And it's going to, go into a little deeper into what I have to say later.
It's going to come a time like you might be doing all of these numbers on YouTube, but you might be tired of having a platform that is demonetizing your content when they want to. You might be tired of being on a platform that's suppressing your content when they want to. So you might want to say, you know what? I want to take this great content that I'm creating and do a deal with one of these streamers, get some guaranteed money in my pocket for a couple of years, get introduced to a whole different audience on a whole different algorithm. Hopefully people that fuck with me, come over and watch it here as well. And boom, all is right with the world. That's what that's what I would do. That's what I would think if I was.
And to me, I see where he's coming from because it kind of reminds me of Trey Melvin. As we all know, Trey Melvin was a big YouTuber way back in the late 2010s, and he was known for dressing as that black caricature of a black woman, and he had all these other plethora of characters, and he was really big on YouTube back then. And then guess what? He woke up one day and said, you know what? All these years I've been making these websites, all these years I've been having these events, all these years I've been posting my content on different websites and going on different platforms and trying to, roll in investors and tell them that I can get millions of people to come on to these platforms and y'all don't support it. Fuck that. I'm taking all my shit off of YouTube, including my videos from 2010, and I'm putting it all on my Patreon or my website, and you could all pay for it individually instead of binge watching stuff, since you guys don't care to support my new stuff now that the algorithm has kicked me out and YouTube doesn't favor me anymore.
Hello, beautiful people. I'm Trey Melvin. You're probably here because you're wondering what happened to all of my iconic videos. I'm gonna keep this video short, sweet, simple, and to the point. They ain't here and never again shall be. But if you can't live without them, you're in luck. I'm producing a new half-hour show titled Flashback Friday, exclusively on my brand new Patreon, which can be found at patreon.com/Trey Melvin. Flashback Friday is a brand new series featuring old sketches exclusively for my paid Patreon subscribers. And new episodes are released every Friday at 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific on the dot. In addition to unlocking all of my old sketches on Patreon, you will also unlock the unfiltered cut of all of my future productions, exclusive behind-the-scenes footage.
So Trey Melvin was putting his foot down with a lot of people saying that a lot of people aren't supportive, and Charlamagne essentially did the same thing. he essentially said the support isn't there. And I see where he's coming from, because to some degree, a lot of people will go hard as hell for you on YouTube and say they love your content and show you mad love, and then they won't ever buy any of your merchandise. Or if they don't buy your merchandise, they won't go out of their way to follow you on social media. Or if they do follow you on social media, they don't ever like or engage. Some people just like, lurk, and if they hear anything about you they don't like, they will unsubscribe, unfollow, say fuck you, and never watch anything ever again. It's almost like, because there's so much free content out there, people don't really value content on the internet anymore. And Charlamagne is putting his foot down. He's making it very clear, if y'all can't support the stuff that we put for free enough to where we could translate it all into dollars, why on earth should we go out of our way to keep putting it out for free? And he's talking with his energy. He's talking with his platform. But what's so crazy is people are going to stop supporting the Breakfast Club. This platform is not built for YouTube. It's literally built from culture communications, literally built off the backs of people who like to have discussions.
Netflix. And the crazy thing that's funny, the funny thing to me is like people will be like, I'm not watching Breakfast Club on Netflix, but then you constantly tweeting about the America's Next Top Model doc. You constantly tweeting about Stranger Things. You constantly tweeting about the Diddy doc, whatever the fuck it is.
What you said though, it's like change is always going to be tricky, and people are going to be frustrated with change, and eventually they'll adjust to it.
And a lot of it is just narrative, Andrew.
First of all, how was the Breakfast Club disappointed in their audience for not caring about the Netflix deal when y'all can't even produce better quality content? I mean, let's be real. Let's not forget that they was sitting in that raggedy ass, overpacked ass studio for like literally a decade. Like, they're just now investing into a new, better quality system and a new multi-camera system. For the longest time, they kept the formula the same. You guys aren't even improving the content. If you guys can do more interviews, the least they can do is create shows. They could literally create a whole spin-off of the Breakfast Club and then literally create something new from there.
That's like somebody putting their vlogs on Netflix. That's lazy as fuck. This is too personable and too simple content. Don't get me wrong. I understand that it takes a whole production of editors to make the Breakfast Club what it is, but this is lazy as fuck. Y'all are lazy. Why can't y'all create something like, let's call it the Dinner Club? Y'all could have created a whole spinoff called the Dinner Club, and it could have been more exclusive interviews, or it could have been more documentary type stuff of the stuff that y'all have gone through, or it could have been more like behind the scenes stuff, or like doing more exclusive interviews in people's mansions, or doing it in somebody's limousine, or doing it in somebody's dressing room, and it could have been more of a personable experience. Y'all are lazy as fuck.
But they know people won't support it, because let's talk about all the time Charlamagne the God has created shows and most of y'all never gave a fuck. He had a whole show on Comedy Central.
Having a mental illness in the past year. 16% of black people say 100% of white supremacists are the cause. And that's the God's honest truth.
The God's honest truth will acknowledge Charlamagne the God McKelvey, coming soon on Comedy Central.
Guess what? Majority of y'all did not watch it, did not support it.
And he had another show. Guess what? He had a show on Comedy Central called Hell Week. Have y'all ever heard of it? I know I didn't. He had a panel of very special guests talk about topics with him. And guess what? Most of us still didn't support it. But you know what's so interesting is a lot of this has to do with the fact that YouTube simply does not take care of their creators. YouTube knows that they're going to have creators and people who upload regardless. YouTube have people posting halftime shows, sports events, meetups, people are posting vlogs constantly, people are posting brand events. It's a lot of stuff that's going on YouTube, and they're posting millions of fucking videos a day on here. And YouTube has gotten more strict and strict as the years have gone on. You know what I mean? Like, people upload all types of ridiculous shit on the platform, like people ringing a fucking doorbell for like 10 hours straight. And guess what? YouTube is paying for this data. YouTube is paying for this bandwidth and making room for all this new content that they don't give a fuck about prioritizing people just because they're celebrities or are pulling in millions of views. YouTube is worried about cleaning up the platform and making sure to get as much as possible. Now, YouTube tries to level the playing field as much as they can, but they can't. And that's why a lot of people like Charlamagne the God got to exercise their resources and go elsewhere.
Now you can't even talk about certain things. Like when they try to like ban the other stuff, it makes sense. Like when people were exploiting their teeny boppers on the internet and making them eat lemons and shit, and it was giving them fucking laxatives and shit. Like that made sense. But now if you talk about Israel, like I'm not gonna say the country, but if you say anything bad about Israel or say anything bad about anything involving war and politics that don't align with what is positive, you will get a lot of backlash, and YouTube will essentially strike your video or age restrict it. I've made content talking about Palestine, and guess what? YouTube age restricted the whole fucking video, and guess what? There were still ads running on it. They were putting Palestine related videos and promoting charities that I can't even fucking verify if it's even going to the people at all. And they were promoting charities and putting ads on my fucking video. And I thought to myself, what the actual fuck? Like, why would YouTube do that? But YouTube is politics now. Like, they won't promote certain things. They won't put ads on certain things. They won't let you get paid for certain things. And they age restrict a lot. Like, I've had a lot of my videos age restricted for shit just because I've gotten on the internet and talked about things going on with war and politics. And it's fucked up because you put your heart and soul into content just for, you know, you not to get anything from it. And it sucks because people will sit up here and be like, oh, well, like, I remember one biscuit brain bitch Lee sat up there and said to me, like, oh, Choice, well, you know, your videos aren't for kids anyways. That's not the point. The point is, when you post content on the internet and YouTube age restricts it, is the fact that they literally will not pay you for it. And on top of that, it'll get way less views, which means people have to log in just to watch that actual video. So if someone isn't logged into a YouTube account, they won't actually see the fucking video at all. It doesn't matter if they're underage, they won't see it. So stuff like that affects a lot of content creators, and many content creators have a lot of built up and amped up frustration with the platform because you pour your heart and soul into building a platform, and they put all these restrictions and barricades on you like it's fucking television, and that was never the point of YouTube. Like, I understand why YouTube had to get rid of all these. You know, remember when YouTube had an era where there was a bunch of fight videos on here, people were posting a bunch of shit when they was in high school, and they was fighting and, you know, doing crazy shit on the school bus, and people would post it on YouTube. That was a big thing. YouTube cleaned all that shit up. But now commentators get affected, vloggers get affected, people who are just sitting down, minding their business, talking about real shit, they get affected. And it sucks. So I get why they want to leave YouTube, because guess what? The platform doesn't pay. And then on top of that, a lot of brand deals don't cut the check like that anymore. And they're not looking to work with content creators on YouTube. They're looking to work with TikTokers, or they're looking to work with celebrities, because now celebrities are competing for these exact same brand deals as influencers. And Charlamagne the God and the whole Breakfast Club, they don't see themselves as influencers or YouTubers. They see themselves as established radio personalities who've put years and energy into the game, and they got to compete with some bitch who's making videos on TikTok, which is okay, who, you know, was eating in her fucking car. So they don't like that kind of stuff, because those kind of people get those major brand deals. They have to compete with those people in terms of numbers and engagement. So they're thinking, fuck that, let's put all our shit on Netflix and people could watch us there. But they're fucking up and destroying the whole platform, because that's not why I go on Netflix. If Netflix were to ever reach out to me, if I'm being honest with you, I would probably just say, fuck no. Or if I want to do some shit with Netflix, I would just say, hey, like, I want to create something new. Like, that's for YouTube. Let's do something else. I'm not going to just put all my shit on there. Like, I'll never forget, some guy that worked at OnlyFans one time reached out to me because there was a point in time where OnlyFans was going through the direction of, you know, putting content on there, getting YouTubers on there, putting dramas and TV shows on there because they wanted to get away from the sex world thing. But I just was like, what the fuck? Why would I do that? That doesn't make any sense. You know what I mean? Like, I don't see the point of putting my shit on a whole new platform like OnlyFans. Like, maybe if they gave me a fucking budget and I created something brand new, but like, why the fuck would I create a system, put it somewhere where it works, where I build an audience and train them how to come back, and then just be like, oh yeah, I'm gonna just bring everything that I did and train y'all, and y'all should just go over there. It just doesn't work. There was a point in time where a lot of YouTubers tried to go to Dailymotion or Vimeo, and it didn't work out. You remember what happened with IGTV? I remember when Instagram tried to, you know, dethrone YouTube and come for YouTube, and then IGTV had all these people who were coming out with TV shows and 30-minute shows, and then eventually that didn't work out because don't nobody go on Instagram to fucking watch long-ass TV shows. And then eventually they had to scrap that whole thing. You remember Facebook Watch, when back in the day they were investing billions of dollars into scripted shows? They had the Ball Family show and a bunch of other shows. You remember that? And then eventually they had the Red Table Talk, and then eventually that left, and that wasn't doing as well anymore. Remember all that? They had to scrap that shit. They had to scrap Red Table Talk. They had to scrap a bunch of other shows because it wasn't making them as much money as it could have. YouTube created a formula where they know how to train people to come back because they create an algorithm where everything is about recommended, suggested videos, the kind of stuff you might like, liked videos, watched later. They create a system that works and is convenient for a lot of us. So why the fuck would people just want to switch up and go somewhere else?
You remember when YouTube came out with that program, YouTube Red? I mean, now it's YouTube Premium, but before it was YouTube Red. It was a streaming platform. It was a moment where we all had ad-free videos. It was a moment where we got to like multitask and we could scroll through without having to stay on the screen. That's what YouTube did. And then eventually Netflix adopted it and other streaming platforms adopted it as well. But with interesting is when YouTube Red was a thing, we had original series back then. We had the Joey Graceffa show. We had people like Liza Koshy, Trey Melvin, and a bunch of other content creators who YouTube was trying to turn into established TV stars. That shit didn't work out. Those billions of dollars didn't go anywhere. So of course, YouTube did what they did best. They scrapped it and they kept to the simple same formula. I mean, they're still trying to push shorts on us, and shorts are still doing pretty well, but the YouTube Red thing didn't even make any fucking money. So, I mean, YouTube is really good at keeping people on the platform, and no one is able to literally surpass it.
Celebrities are sick and tired of having to compete with influencers. They're trying to secure the bag. They're trying to get talk shows. They see fucking random motherfuckers on the internet making podcasts, getting millions of views. They are tired of having to compete with brand deals. So they're trying their best to get on platforms where they can make the most money. I can't be mad at it, but we all know how this is going to turn out. That's that for this entire video. Please be sure to like, comment, subscribe. Give me your thoughts and opinions in the comment section down below.
Yes,
and yeah, that's that.
I don't think that
Choice out this bitch.
Have to put the thought that she's a lonely girl, and it's a lonely world, and she gonna let it burn, baby, burn, baby, burn, baby. This girl is on fire. This girl is on fire. She's walking on fire. This girl is on fire. Oh.